Hi, Central Park Cougars. It's Mrs. Nash. I'm here to review with you equivalent fractions. Okay. If you remember, equivalent fractions are a set of fractions. So two or more fractions would be a set of fractions that show equal amounts or the same amount. Okay. So for example, here, I have the fraction 1/2. Okay. One piece is shaded, 1 out of 2, 1/2. If I were to create an equivalent fraction, okay, what I would need to do is I would need to draw, if I'm going to use a model, I would need to draw the same exact model. So if I draw my model, I would start out by drawing the same exact model, 1/2 here, just like this. Now what I would need to do to create an equivalent fraction using a model is I'm going to have to split each of these pieces in half. So if I do that, if I split each of these pieces in half, like this, in half, and then half, and then if I take my marker and shade like this, I have just created an equivalent fraction to 1/2. This fraction would be 2/4. Because if I have my numerator 1, 2, I have 2 pieces shaded. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 total pieces. So I have the fraction 2/4. Now, I can also, instead of doing a drawing, I can also use a multiplication method, okay? So if I think about the fraction 1/2, okay? If I split that one unit fraction, this is a unit fraction 1/2, in half, I would multiply it by 2. Now, when I'm using the multiplication method, I need to make sure that I am using the same number on the top and on the bottom. I have to multiply by the same number because I don't want to change the area that the shaded is covering. So I'm going to multiply that denominator by 2 as well. And when I do that, if I multiply 1/2 by 2/2, I end up with the fraction 2/4, which is also the same as my shaded model. So I can use either method. I can use a model if I need to draw my picture, okay? Or I can use my multiplication strategy if I feel like I'm ready to do that without the model, okay? Reminder, something to keep in mind, okay? When we are using bar models to create equivalent fractions, your models should be the same size, okay? So when you're doing that, I want you to remember you're gonna do this. My models, look at my bar models, they're the same size, okay? Because I would have 1/2 and 2/4, so I can visually see that the area is the same with both of these models, okay? I don't want to do this, okay? Because if you look, my area is not the same. It doesn't look the same because I didn't use the same size models, okay? So we want to make sure that when we're drawing models that they're the same exact size, okay? Also, whatever we do to one of the unit fractions, so whatever we do to one piece or to the numerator, we also must do it to the other, so the denominator or the other pieces, okay? So if I was doing a bar model, my bar model should look like this. Do this. I started with 1/2. I split this guy in half. I ended up here. I also did it to this piece. I did it to both of the half pieces, okay? I don't want to do this. This is not correct, okay? I can't do this because technically this isn't fourths. I end up with, there's 1, 2, 3 pieces if I was counting, and I have 2 out of 3. This would actually be 2/3. So this is not correct. So you have to make sure if I'm going to draw a line here, I got to do it to the other pieces, okay? Other thing to remember, okay, is that if I'm using the multiplication method or the multiplication strategy, both the numerator and my denominator must be multiplied by the same exact number. So for example, I'm going to do this. If I multiply my top number by 2, I need to multiply my bottom number by 2. If I look at my model, I split this guy in half. I created 2. I need to do the same thing over here. Okay? I'm not going to do this. This doesn't make sense. I have to use the same number because if I draw out the model for this multiplication problem I just did, this is the model I end up with. And if you look, this area is not the same as this area. I want to make sure equivalent fractions is equal, same amount. Okay? Your math assignment for today, okay? You're going to go into IXL in the search bar. You're going to type in GSG. Your skill is identify equivalent fractions. Okay? Good luck, Cougars. Work hard, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.